Yeah, yeah. One West. U.P.K, easy. They in the fourth dimension fam. Can't too study me, isn't it? Just go and be a tick. Me keep my circle kinda small as my should. We firm like the China wild dog, my hood. Me learn the game of Minecraft, them say dog, oh nobody can see you, no not all from with you. You see me when you see me, you see me. Right I know we not depend the gimmicks me a coffee for me, can nobody not give we no me. Yo sky the limit dog, if you not like weed then go suck your mother. We no give a fuck neither, one day sit out with team, yeah what them me rather. Try no mess with my brother. You no like weed, then I suck your mother. We no give a fuck neither. One day sit on me team, yeah, what them me rather. Try no mess with the brothers. Hey, in a the game of life, just try no say life and no game. Me get gain from the pain, and that's why you see me a stain at the flame. Hey. Oh, you mean if me change this? Another youth we used to play in the lane of the big man list with the name and the fame. A lucky thing we nah no stain for we name. Hey, the pussy them stay for we name. This a U.P.K. We have the place away. We stay from the beta male man up to stay in them lane because some of them are gay dog. Oh gosh, what a shame. Me and my dog, them say we straight like a plane. Man, I kill a charge, me say just the way we train. And any boy, this no cause no blame. If you no like weed, then go suck your mother. Me no give a fuck neither. One day sit on me team, yeah, what them me rather. Try not trouble my brother. You no like weed, then I suck your mother. We no give a fuck neither. One day sit on me team, yeah, what them me rather. Try no mess with the brothers. Hey, me keep my circle kinda small as my should. We firm like the China wild dog, my good. Me learn the game of Minecraft, them say dog, oh nobody can see you, no not all from with you. You see me when you see me, you see me. Right now we not depend the gimmicks, we are unfulfilled, we can't nobody not give we no stimmy. Yo sky the limits dog, if you no like weed then go suck your mother. We no give a fuck neither. One day sit out with team, yeah, what that we rather. Try no trouble my brother. You no like weed, then I suck your mother. We no give a fuck neither. One day sit out the team, yeah, what them rather. Try no mess with the brothers. You know it. Yeah, you see it. Equilibrium, tribe vibes, you know, Abadawa.
Alright, Shalom Israel, Shalom. Clap it up. Alright, welcome again to another I.S.U.P.K. Wednesday night law class. My name is Priest and Officer 500 Kayadwan from I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica under commanding General YAHANNA. You understand? I say Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Barakatham to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'asham Yahweh to my sisters. See, so the I.S.U.P.K. started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The I.S.U.P.K. brought out the truth that blacks, you know what I mean, who were brought across over here in the transatlantic slave trade, Hispanics and Native Indians, you understand? These are the 12 lost tribes of Israel, you understand? The real Israelites according to the Bible, history, and archaeology, you understand? All right, so with that said now, we're going to touch upon a situation over here in Guyana, you understand, where a young sister was unalive in questionable circumstances, you understand? You know what I mean? There's so much mystery to the situation, but clearly there was a conspiracy. You can see it because if them claim that the young sister was unalive because she drowned, see, then why is there burn marks on her and all sort of thing? You understand? The Prime Minister, I think, came out and read something that, you know what I mean, basically disqualify any trauma, you know what I mean, or blunt trauma that caused her death. But, you know what I mean, this thing has seemed very, very suspicious. Very, very suspicious. You understand? So we're there Jamaica right now, but we are jump over Guyana. You understand? Reason being, you know what I mean, the Hispanics and the blacks over there in Guyana, they are our brothers and sisters. You understand? And from 1969, the I.S.U.P.K has been teaching that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the children of Israel. No, I've never been to Guyana, Zane. However, I've seen, you know what I mean, the Guyanese culture on social media, especially because the situation, you know what I mean, with the sister. No, may I say the Guyanese, them really have, you know what I mean, like Guyana is Jamaica. Jamaica is Guyana. Is the same culture, is the same behavior, is the same body language, is the same spirit. You understand? Of course, we expected that, you understand, knowing that these are the children of Israel too. You understand? But social media tend to bring together, you know what I mean, the 12 tribes in a way where, you know what I mean, if it wasn't for social media, the boundary, the barrier would have been so great. You understand? But now we have see Guyana. And we see Guyana is Jamaica. Guyana is Trinidad. And guess what? There's another country that whenever I see any video or anybody from this country, I'm always fascinated, and that is Belize. Zin, you see, Belize, I can't put a distinction between Belizean and Jamaicans. I watch Belizean news or a clipping of a Belizean news with some incident that take place, you know what I mean, some time back. And me swear think of Jamaica. Me I say, which part of Jamaica this? If the reporter never say Belizean news, me would have never know say a Belize. You understand? Because in my opinion, Belizean talk exactly like Jamaican, and Jamaican talk exactly like Belizean. Why? Because we are the same people. Simple as that. Jamaicans talk like, you know what I mean, Guyanese talk like Trinidadians. Trinidadians talk like Barbados or Bahamas. You understand why? Because we are the same people. See? It's just that are different plantations. You understand? And obviously our brothers and sisters in Guyana have been going through hell over there on that plantation. You understand? Similar to what we, you know what I mean, go through over here in Jamaica. Similar situation. You understand? And now you have a situation with, you know what I mean, a sister being unalived with questionable circumstances in a certain hotel owned by a certain set of people, a certain race of people. You understand? And we are not pointing any fingers on anybody to say, yo, these are the people that, you know what I mean, did the unalivement. But we know that somebody unalived that sister. You understand? And this hotel, I think the hotel name is Double D Hotel. This hotel is infamous for Israelites dying. Like, you know what I mean? Them say about 4 years ago or something like that, another Israelite died. He was a young man. I don't remember his name. I have the clipping right when I go play it shortly. Him was, you know what I mean, a native Guyanese, which he would be of the tribe of Asha. You understand? Got unalived. So what is the situation with this hotel? Why is it that people keep being unalive in this hotel? You understand? You know what I mean? If we're quick to judgment, which we are not here in the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, YAHANNA, we could say there must be some attempt to unalive, you know what I mean, our people. But we're not going to jump this up. You know what I mean? It could be racism. We don't know. It could be. You understand? Because when it comes to, you can ask the Trinidadians. See? You can ask the Trinidadians. When it comes to East Indian people, their racism is, you know what I mean, nigh unto the oppressor, the white man, when it comes to blacks and Hispanics. Just ask the Trinidadians. You understand? So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it. Remember to like, tap up the screen, share, depending on the platform you're watching on. We're the I.S.U.P.K Jamaica under commanding General YAHANNA. And what I would, recommend to our Guyanese brothers and sisters from both the tribe of Benjamin, which would be the black people in Guyana, and the tribe of Asha would be the Hispanics. I would encourage you to, come learn your history from the I.S.U.P.K, search up Commanding General YAHANNA, search up the I.S.U.P.K. I don't know if the truth has already, been introduced, or you are getting any, you're getting that vibration yet in Guyana. But I would encourage you to search up the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? All right, so what we are going to do now, we're going to play some tape. You understand? The first tape we are going to play. 1 second. If you have questions, just leave it in the chat. You know what I mean? You know the time. 1 second. 1 second. We're not play that yet. All right, so this is the father of Adriana. You understand? Clearly demonstrating in grief. You know what I mean? And nobody speak enough about a father's grief. Of course, the mother went through her grief as well. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Them tend to, you know what I mean, put a shadow over the black man's and the Hispanic man grief when it comes to the love of them children or the pain, you know what I mean, of losing them children. And, you know what I mean, this brother, may I tell you, watching this brother, them can no longer say blacks and Hispanics fathers do not love them children, because when we see this brother demonstrate on camera, you know what I mean, the sincere grief for the love of him daughter, brethren. Yo, them can't say black man and Hispanic man don't love them pitney. You understand? It is clear here. And this brother, you can see, say, him go through some pain because I'm daughter. You understand? I'm going to play the tape.
Tell me my daughter is here. Since yesterday, my daughter barely tell me she's in there. I tell the major, my daughter's in there. And the major was listening to me this morning when I tell them, you sit for your search for me daughter by time. That's who I talk like there's a lie. And the police are coming to chase me from there last night. And the police are, you know, it's like the police are put me through. And no police are going to talk about the lack of this idea. The police are starting to do them 4 5 times. I never going to do them. I never going to do them. The police start to do them 4 or 5 times. I tell the police when they don't start, we have to stay.
No, you're fine. And you refused to move. Why did you refuse to move? You said your daughter. What made you get this feeling that your daughter's still
I tell you something, they come here yesterday, my belly tell me my daughter's in there. You hear? Just yesterday, my daughter.
So the situation is the grandmother went to this hotel with the daughter and other siblings, our sibling, right? And they were getting some food, and then the daughter just suddenly disappeared. See? Now they might try boil it down to drowning when, you know what I mean, according to the people who was demonstrating, them scout the pool. You know what I mean? Live stream was running while the people them did there in the hotel. This hotel owned by, we're gonna show you who this hotel was owned by. See? Them scout the pool and there was no body in the pool. Then all of a sudden, the body turned up with burn mark and trauma injury. How is that possible if I drown, the little girl drown? All right, I'm going to say this. See, I will not condone the looting and wagwan, you know what I mean? Because that will not bring back the sister, but we understand what people grieve, brethren. See, me have to really, you know what I mean, me have a special place in me personally, have a special place in my heart for Guyanese people because of them response. And again, we not support the looting and all of them things there. See? Because this show you how much Guyanese people love them children. You know what I mean? And of course, we know say other things happen before that contribute to this. See? Other things happen that cause, you know, they were saying at Jamaica, pressure bust pipe. See? And this was clearly, you know what I mean, the pressure will bust the pipe. And the people them went out and in unison because them lose a sister. And me have to commend them for that. Now, what we would advise them is, you know what I mean, for find the I.S.U.P.K so they can deal with it in the right and proper way and get justice. Because at the end of the day, going out randomly and doing, you know what I mean, where you see people are do, you can hurt innocent people as well. You understand? Hurt on the brothers and hurt on the sisters. You know what I mean? What nothing to do with it. That's why we would recommend Guyanese log into the I.S.U.P.K. Zane, we can help you get to the justice. You understand? Zane, but my brethren, may I tell you, me have a special place in my heart for Guyanese people. No, me never know nothing about Guyana except me see a couple clippings on social media. I know say, yeah, them are the children of Israel. You understand? No, me see say, yo, them people are still have them spirit intact. You understand? Jamaica, boy, Jamaica is a different situation. The brainwashing of Jamaica is in full effect that them thing and even budge with. Me I tell you the truth. You know what I mean? I mean now when I say we, me I talk about the whole of it. See, when things like this happen, we don't come out with the force where we see the Guyanese brothers and sisters come out with. Why? Because we have been numb to trauma. We have been so traumatized here in Jamaica by this oppressor and these heathens who rule on top of us here in Jamaica that when situations like this happen, it doesn't even, you know what I mean? It don't drive us to any reaction like what you see in Guyana. That's why I have to give a big shout out to our brothers and sisters in Guyana. The right way would be to link up the prophets of the Most High in the I.S.U.P.K and let us angle the big. General YAHANNA will send, you know what I mean? We send an army of men to Guyana. Let me repeat that. General YAHANNA would have sent an army of brothers to Guyana to get to the bottom of this. And trust me, we would have gotten on justice. See? But it is what it is. You understand? All right. What we are going to do now still, we're going to jump to another situation where, you know what I mean, another unalivement took place at the same hotel. You understand? And this time, so that was the situation with Adriana is with, you know what I mean? She's a black sister. So Adriana, I think her last name would be Simon or Simon, if I'm not mistaken. See? That is a common name also in Jamaica. You understand? Now, this situation now is with a Hispanic brother. You understand? And this was a couple of years back. See, we're going to play this tape. Yeah, them bust the place. So it's a pattern, basically. You know what I mean? When something happen at this hotel that cause somebody's, you know what I mean, unalivement, you know what I mean? The status quo is they drown. But something wrong with that hotel. May I tell you the truth? I mean, I hear like there's another case before even that one. See? So, all right, of course, fast forward, the people them burn down the hotel, rightfully so. I go just tell you straight. That hotel they need to go. How much of our people are got dead at that hotel? You know what I mean? For us to learn that this hotel is not a good place for our people. It have to go. You know what I mean? Me personally not condone the rest of the thing them we are going with the protests and rare. See? But that hotel you have to go, man. It did have to burn down, brethren. I tell you, this did have to burn down. You understand? Of course, the owner of the hotel and the Theme family, them safe because them fled. You understand? So far, based on my knowledge, there is no word from them. You understand? And what happened in this young man case, guess what? Guess what? It's a situation between the rich versus the poor. That is what it is. You understand? The police and the authorities were paid off because these people who own this hotel, them have money. You understand? And whenever our people come up against, you know what I mean, these rich oppressors, we always get, you know what I mean, the shitty end of the stick. I just saw the situation said over here in this captivity. You understand? We're gonna play one more tape. Zane, and then we're gonna show you who own this hotel and what race of people they are. You understand?
No. Very shot. What are they doing? Shoot on the station? By right. Master by right too. Shooting up the police station by man making shots at all the streets, the done stuff, them coming out from. Watch all the jets. And I'm shooting at the station and hearing them slugs landing. Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, and that's the outcome. You know what I mean? And again, we not condone it. We in the I.S.U.P.K, we have a better way to deal with them things. You understand? So, Guyana, get familiar with the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, YAHANNA. I.S.U.P.K. Just follow this page and follow every I.S.U.P.K page. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. As I tell you before, commanding general YAHANNA do have a problem. If you reach out to commanding general YAHANNA, him send an army of brothers down to Guyana to get to the bottom of this. You understand? Believe. All right. So, the owner of the Double Day Hotel, right? We're going to show you the name of these people. See? And where you going to find out about them people, yeah? They are not the native, what them call it, Amerindians in, you know what I mean, in Guyana. See? They are not the native. They are not the black people who served slavery in Guyana alongside the Amerindians. See? These people, I don't know the Guyanese history as good as a Guyanese, right? But me know say these people also exist here in Jamaica and they came here as indentured servants. You understand? All right, let me find it. In the meanwhile, remember, tap up the screen, share, like, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. We are the I.S.U.P.K Jamaica under commanding General YAHANNA. All right? So we're going to read this. This is an article. It says, Adriana Young update. what to know about the owner of the Doubleday Hotel. See? It says, the unalivement of the 11-year-old Adriana Young at the Doubleday Hotel has ignited a firestorm of outrage across Guyana, exposing deep concern over safety, accountability, and a troubling history of unresolved tragedies. You understand? It sounds like Jamaica, but you know what I mean? Guyanese, they took to the streets. See? What began as a local tragedy has swiftly become a national crisis with demands for answers growing louder by the hour. In the midst of all the events, many ask the question, what do we know about the owners of the Doubleday Hotel? This is his name. This is the owner. Bojnarin Bola. You know what I mean? Them tell you say it's all in a name, right? All right. Let me give you an example. Because of slavery and because of other things where we might touch upon a different class, the Israelites' name are distinctive throughout this captivity. For example, when a black person named Robinson, or even an Hispanic, you can assume that this person's ancestors came across in the transatlantic slave trade. You understand? Smith, even Simmons or Simon, right? No, even Chavez would be linked to the Hispanics, our native brothers, because of the Spanish who, you know what I mean, enslaved them and changed their name. Cortez, you know what I mean, Marquez, you know what I mean, Enriquez. These are Hispanic names, you understand? And I would assume that these names would be common in Guyana, you know what I mean, right? No, we never talk about a name like Bojnarin Bala. That is not a name synonymous with, you know what I mean, the slaves over here, with the descendants of the children of Israel over here. You understand? But what is this name linked? Which nationality is this name linked to? We'll find it. So we're gonna look up the word, the nationality of the name Bala. See? And I am familiar with this name because these people come to Jamaica, you know what I mean, and them do work, and you know what I mean, them have some level of ancestry in a Jamaica too. See? Let me read. The name Ola is predominantly associated with Indian, specifically Punjabi origin. No, these Indians are not native Indians. These are East Indians. And we know, just like Jamaica, Guyana is quote unquote a melting pot, like they would have liked to fix it, right? Out of many one people is the motto of Jamaica, because you have so many race of people. But don't get it twisted. Separation is still here. You understand? Our ancestry determine our status here in Jamaica. The descendants of the slaves here in Jamaica, not just Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, Bahamas, Guyana, see? These are the people at the bottom of society. And this is not by coincidence. See? No, a name like Bala that leads back to the East Indians, you're going to find out, say, these people are at the top of the food chain, and this is by design. It's the same thing in Jamaica, you understand, where these East Indians, they come from the 1800s as indentured servants and work them way to power here in Jamaica, and now they are a part of the ruling class, as well as the Chinese, you know what I mean, with the oppressor, the white man at the top. See? Now, who are the bottom? Blacks and Hispanics. We left at the bottom. Why? Because we are the descendants of the slaves. You understand? And our status never changed over here in this captivity. And it's by design. See? So why am I making this distinction? All right. It seems like situation, it might have quelled down by now. I don't know if it's about to get out of hand. But I feel like this, you know what I mean? This situation in Guyana needs clarification. The point I'm making with this, the people who own this hotel, they are not the natives, because sometimes we tend to mix up these East Indians with our native brothers and sisters in, you know what I mean, throughout the Caribbean and throughout North, Central, and South America. See? These are East Indian people. These are not our Hispanic brothers and sisters who are our blood relatives. You understand? It might sound strange to you. You know what I mean? It is no longer being strange here in Jamaica because we have been spreading this message. See? But it might sound strange to you over there in Guyana when we say Black people and Hispanic people are blood relatives. See? But we are not blood relatives to these Punjabi, you know what I mean, East Indian people. And that is the reason why them treat us like we are less than. That is the reason why they have no problem joining our oppressor in helping them to oppress us. You understand? So it is very suspicious, the situation that we see going on at this hotel, knowing that it's owned by these people and it's more than one time our people have been unalive in this hotel. Why? What is going on? Some people say a sacrifice. We personally don't believe in the superstitious nature of sacrifices like that. But you know, there might be some people who do and believe that they need to sacrifice to people. You understand? Of course, we don't believe in the superstitious nature, but we know that people have practices. And whenever they are trying to, you know what I mean, prey on anybody, it's always our people. When it comes to human trafficking and all of them things there, you can just check the status here in Jamaica. Every day you have some, you know what I mean, young girl going missing. And we can almost assume that is the same situation in Guyana. You understand? Whenever it's time for prey on somebody, you understand? It's always our people. Why? Because we are the descendants of the slaves. Because we are God's chosen people. And all these other nations, they are having a feast. They are having a feast, and we are the food. Them feed off for us. You understand? These nations come amongst us, and them live and them dwell, and them become prosperous. Them make money from us. Right? And what we do? We patronize them. Them become rich, and we become poor. You understand? We have a scripture for that. Zin, give me a second. In the meanwhile, remember to like, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? You know the thing already. And again, if you don't have any question, please leave it in the chat. The autopsy was done cause of death. She drowns. Lucky. You know what I mean? Why that hard to believe that that is the reason for her death, especially when we see the burn marks on her and all them things. You know, somebody say get to the point. We've been getting to the point. You know what I mean? You're probably late. All right, let me jump to Deuteronomy 28 and 43. See? This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43, and it says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. What is this talking about? It's talking about the situation right now. You understand? Over here in this captivity. See? Where these other nations, you know what I mean, them come amongst us, you know what I mean, them open them wholesale, we can better this is the situation in Guyana. You have the Chinese wholesale, the Chinese supermarket, you have the Chinese this, you have the Chinese that, you understand? You have everything belonging to these heathens. You know what I mean? Every business, everything that we need to survive is owned by these heathens. These strangers come amongst us, them become very high, and we become very low. You understand? Let me jump to verse 44. See? It said, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And that is the situation with us right now. These heathens rule over us. They are the head, we are the tail. You understand? So when a situation like this occur, when, you know what I mean, a young girl, a young sister is unalive, guess what? You have the police, you know what I mean, who done in the police done in them pocket already. We just cover up the situation. You understand? Just cover up the situation, allow them to leave. You know what I mean? And just give you some excuse that she died by drowning. You know what I mean? Same situation here in Jamaica. See? So this is an example of them ruling over us, becoming very high over us, and we come down very low. Now, what am I trying to say now? Well, the I.S.U.P.K and the Command in General, Your Honor, what we teach is blacks and Hispanics need to come together. You understand? As God's chosen people again. Of course, because of slavery, you don't know who you are. The same thing with the black people over here. We don't know who we are. You know what I mean? We learn from our oppressor in the education system that we are Africans, right? Well, our Hispanics, they might have learned from the oppressor that, you know what I mean, they are Spanish, I guess. You know what I mean? In many cases, our Hispanic brothers and sisters think they are Spanish. You know what I mean? Of course, many of them can go back to trace them lineage to the Arawak, you know what I mean, the Amerindians, you know what I mean, in Mexico to the Aztecs, you know what I mean, and so forth. But where did they originate from? You know what I mean? Well, we in the I.S.U.P.K, we have done the research, and our Hispanic brothers, they are from, you know what I mean, before they migrated over here to North, Central, and South America, they were from the northern kingdom of the 12 tribe of Israel. You know what I mean? They came over here first. They landed over here. They are the first to occupy these lands before Christopher Columbus came and talked about him discover when him come see people. Then after that, the same Spanish brought we over here. You know what I mean? This was a persecution of the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? That's all this oppression is. The persecution of the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? All right, so watch this now. I mentioned that we were not Africans, talking about black people. It's hard to pass this veil because of the Rastafari community and so forth. See, and the Pan-African, you know what I mean, community like Mutabaruka and so forth, where push this, you know what I mean, Africa this, Africa that, you know what I mean, sentiment in our people. And it's hard for we look past it because it's obvious black people come from Africa, you know what I mean? So we must be African when that is not the case. As I said before, we are related to the Hispanics, and the Hispanics are related to us, the native Indians. They are related to these black people who came across in the transatlantic slave trade. We are not related to the Africans. The same way how the Hispanics look like the East Indians in some way, but they are not related in any way, shape, or form. See? We and the Hispanics are brothers. We are the 12 tribe of Israel. You understand? So we even though we were taken from the land of Africa, the west coast of Africa, we are not Africans. You understand? And even though the Hispanics, you know what I mean, in many parts of the Americas speak Spanish, they are not Spanish. You understand? They are not Spanish. They are of the 12 tribe of Israel. You understand? And that is the situation with us right now. Now, what happened to us in Africa, I know I'm kind of deviate from the subject, but I'll come back on it. See? What happened to us in Africa was, you know what I mean, during the time 70 AD when they destroyed Jerusalem, we fled into Africa. You know what I mean? We were fleeing from Roman persecution. See? You have a book from Babylon to Timbuktu. Let me just, you know what I mean? See if I can go now, quick excerpt from it, quick and fast, and get back on the subject. See? 1 second. Give me a sec. 1 second. See? For show you how these black people over here came across over here. See? We're going to jump to the book from Babylon to Timbuktu. Timbuktu, and we're going to jump to 1 second. Page 84. And we're going to jump to the second paragraph. So in a nutshell, we just have to break it down and then get back on topic. See? So it said, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. You understand? So this was after the time of the black man named Jesus Christ, which them paint as a white man today. His real name is Yahawashi Mashiach. This was 70 years after his death. See? Now the Romans were persecuting the Israelites, who were Jesus' people. You understand? Now, it said, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. So them capture Jerusalem, that is, you know what I mean, where Jesus is from. See? In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son, Titus, which is Roman, you know what I mean, soldiers, military officials, see, put an end to the Jewish state, talking about put an end to the Israelite society, meaning, it I go tell you, watch this. With great slaughter, you understand? So them unalive us, you understand? During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled to Africa. All right, so this is how we ended up in Africa. You understand? We fled into Africa because the Romans, they were unaliving us. We had to flee. See? Yahawashi himself tell you, you know what I mean, that when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, flee into the mountains. We fled into the mountains, and the mountains was in Africa. So we left from the Middle East and we fled down into Africa. See? Let me continue reading. It says, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery, because they were putting us into slavery, right? The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. You know what I mean? So at that time, they were enslaving the black Jews. You understand? So that is how we ended up in Africa. We ended up in Africa fleeing from the white man. So we fled amongst other dark-skinned people and we dwell in Africa, you know what I mean, for thousands of years. Meanwhile, our Hispanic brothers who left Jerusalem before us was over here in the Americas. You understand? In Venezuela, in Guyana, you know what I mean? Of course, them time they never saw the land them name. You know what I mean? In Jamaica, what happened in Jamaica was when Christopher Columbus and Fim Entourage them forward, them exterminate completely the Hispanic population. You know what I mean? There's maybe 1 and 2, you can't, they have so mixed into us. We're probably, enough of us probably are Hispanic, we don't know. Because the population was so limited now. See? And there's also the history about the Maroons that, you know what I mean, many of us mix with them in the Maroon villages and so forth. Many of the Maroons are Hispanics. You understand? But Christopher Columbus did such a job that he massacred, you know what I mean, genocide of, you know what I mean, almost the entirety of them here in Jamaica. Also, almost in Trinidad. See? In Haiti. See? Well, of course, we have Hispanic brothers and sisters in Dominica, in Dominica Republic. See? But they also lived in Haiti. See? But what they did, they rounded up what we call the Southern Kingdom, which was Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, which are what them calling Negroes, and them enslaved them over here. So Benjamin would be the black Caribbeans. We are the Benjamites. In Venezuela, you have some Benjamites too. The black people in, not Venezuela, in Guyana, you understand, you have Benjamites as well. See? Those are the black people in Guyana. See? Now, Haiti would be the Levites. These are the tribe of Levi. Now, the Hispanic in Guyana, this is the tribe of Asha. Go straight back down to Brazil and Chile. From Venezuela, Guyana, Brazil, Chile, that's the tribe of Asha. We are the 12th tribe of Israel. You know what I mean? And it's no accident that the Most High have us all over here, suffering the same persecution to all be freed at once. You know what I mean? So that is basically the breakdown. If you don't want to know more, enough for us, you know what I mean, join the class, them and thing, you know the thing go. Give us a call, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I don't know how deep this knowledge is in Guyana, but it needs to be, especially in a time like now, where you're seeing that your oppression is being, you know what I mean, intensified in Guyana. Where the answer will come from? The answer now will come from you burning down the place. You know what I mean? When you run the risk of becoming like Haiti, when you run the risk of the oppressor infiltrating any revolution, you not try, you know what I mean, obtain and just put you back in a worse situation than you're already in. That is how this oppressor, the devil, the white man work. Him see something going over there in your country, him use it as a means to infiltrate it and take over your country resources. You know what I mean? And who to tell? Maybe the protest wasn't even natural. You don't know. This is how the oppressor work. You know them have a beef with Venezuela. You understand? Them have a beef with Venezuela. So maybe them just, you know what I mean, fuel this protest, you know what I mean, use this sister as a scapegoat. You never know. To now infiltrate Guyana so them can have, you know what I mean, them foot on the ground when it comes time for war with Venezuela. And not because Guyana and America is in good standing. You have to remember, the white man is the devil the Bible speak of. You never know what he is planning. Even though he is in good standing with the prime minister, him still will betray him. You understand? Him still will betray him and run amok with Guyana and use you as the scapegoat to say that you are the one that run the country down in amok because, you know what I mean, you were protesting and burning down and looting stores. You understand? So we have to take that in mind. That's why we need the prophets of the Most High for guide you through these times. Because we end up like Haiti. Right now, you see the gangs in Haiti, they are being financed. They are being controlled by the descendants of the French, the oligarchs. You understand? In cahoots with the Americans. You know what I mean? To scrape the resource in Haiti. There's no revolution in Haiti. None. You understand? So, all right, let's with that said, let's just get back on topic. See, let me check the time. All right, somebody asked a question. How do you find the beginning of the month? It's in Exodus, when the Most High said, this is the beginning of months, talking about the time of the Passover. So the Passover is 14 days into the year. You know what I mean? And the Passover is usually in the time of spring. Of course, we kept the Passover 2 weeks ago, April the 12th. You understand? Or there about 2 weeks and a little bit ago. You know what I mean? So the Passover would be 14 days into the year. You know what I mean? So we would be in the first month of the year right now. You understand? We have classes who break that down. See? All right. Let me so we're gonna read some more scriptures. We're gonna read the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. We don't know if, you know what I mean, again, this truth is being spread throughout the world now. We don't know how prevalent this truth is in Guyana. You understand? And we have at one point we have like 100 odd people watching, you know what I mean, on this live on TikTok. I will assume because of the topic that I said that most of these people would be from Guyana. Because of the topic, the hashtag. See? So seeing that we have a Guyanese audience tonight. See? We're going to jump into some milk scriptures to help you understand what is taking place with our people. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. And let's start at verse 1. So this was when Moses, you know what I mean, was about to basically lead us into the promised land after the Most High took us out of the land of Egypt from under the Africans who were enslaving us. See? And the Most High was giving us do's and don'ts as a nation. We were the Most High's chosen people. The Most High chose us to rule this earth. You understand? The Most High never want us to be under the foot of these East Indians and the oppressor and the Chinese. It's our disobedience that caused this. See? So this was what Moses, the instruction that Moses gave us from the Most High. So this is what the Most High said to Moses, and Moses imparted to us. Deuteronomy 28:1, and it said, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Now, this is the deal that we have with the creator of this planet, that he would set us on high above all nations of the earth. That don't sound like the Christianity where we learn at church, right? This don't sound like Christianity, because Christianity concept is that God loves everybody and everybody is equal. See? Meanwhile, Christianity was the driving force behind the oppressor to enslave God's people. Christopher Columbus was a Christian, and we know what he did to our Hispanic brothers and sisters. The British, the French, the Portuguese were all Christians, and they all answer to the mother of Christianity, which is the Catholic Church. And this was the force. And I did a video on it. And my brother Abadawan did a class on it. See? It was the Catholic Church that ordered our slavery. Our slavery was a command directly from the Pope, Pope Nicholas, you know what I mean, the fifth, you know what I mean, during the time of, during the 1600s. You know what I mean? I'll get back to you upon the date. See? This was a direct order from the Pope. Go and enslave these people. But we are Christian today. Why? Why are we Christians today? We are a part of the religion that enslave us, claiming to uphold God's word, which is the Bible, which is our records, and then in the same breath enslaving God's people. See? Well, this was what the Most High told us, that if we kept his commandments, we would be above all nations. This is not equality. There's no such thing as equality on this earth. You see that now in Guyana, that there's no equality. One of our sisters was unalived, and there is no justice. As a matter of fact, the police protect the culprits. There is no equality. Get that out of your mind. That's a Christian concept. There's no such thing. The Most High did not create everybody equal. He created us to be better than everybody else. And we throw it away because we turn our backs on the Most High. That is what we did. We betrayed the Most High, the Creator, and so now we're under the oppressors. You understand? Let me jump down to verse 15. So, in that instance, the Most High said, if we obeyed him, we would be an eye above all nations of the earth. We'd be the ruling class. See? Now, verse 15 says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So, on one hand, if we obey the Most High, we would be above all nation and blessed. You understand? But on the other hand, if we disobey the Most High, we would be cursed. You understand? And blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians certainly suffer a curse today. This what happened to this sister was a curse. You understand? This is not a blessing. This is a curse. And we go through this every day. Everywhere you can find the children of Israel, you know what I mean, across the earth. We suffer this similar curse every day where we, you know what I mean, our children turn up missing. You understand? We have read some of these curses. See? Of course, there were blessings. We skip them to get to the point. You know what I mean? Of course, the Most I say we will be blessed if we follow him. You know what I mean? And if we obey him. But we have jumped down to the situation that we are facing today. See? So 16 said, "Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field." So what is the city? The city is in the town, the towns. The fields would be in the country. You understand? The country region where farming take place. You know what I mean? So in the city we are cursed. We have to do flat foot hustling. Our people don't own the stores. The Chinese own the stores. The East Indian own all the big businesses, the hotels. Clearly see the WD Hotel was owned by East Indians. See? The Chinese own the stores that you are now have to be looting because you want justice. This is cursed, being cursed in the city, and I can bet, just like Jamaica, you have to be doing flat foot hustling. You have to set up stall in the markets. You know what I mean? You have to be selling on the street side and all them things to survive. We can bet. So it's no different from Jamaica and no different from Trinidad and all the Caribbean islands, where all these other nations come and them prosper, but we remain at the bottom of society. This is curse in the city and curse in the field, in the country where you do farming. The big farming industry is not owned by blacks and Hispanics. It's owned by other nations. Well, definitely that is the case here in Jamaica and Jordan. You know what I mean? The majority where the children of Israel live. We are cursed. You know what I mean? We don't prosper over here in this captivity because we are under this oppressor. See? Let me scroll down. It said, "Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store." Verse 18, "Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kind, and the flock of thy sheep." And we are witnessing this. What is the fruit of your body? Your offspring, your children. Certainly, this brother who lost his daughter does not feel blessed when it comes to his daughter right now. You understand? He's experiencing this curse, and many of us have experienced this. You understand? Let me scroll down. Let me jump down to verse 32. See? It said, "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. See? And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand." This is exactly the situation that took place here. This sister and her grandmother and her siblings went to this WD Hotel, you know what I mean, where that is owned by other people, by these heathens. You understand? And turn up missing. See? Turn up missing. And there was no might in her grandmother and her mother and see her father and to do anything about it. Them daughter body just turn up by the poolside with burn mark, you know what I mean? And now them not have a daughter no more. This is exactly what this scripture is talking about. We experienced that. You understand? And the magnification of this is during slavery, when our children was taken from us, ripped from our arms. You understand? And sold on these plantations, sold, and many of the Hispanics too, was sold into England and Spain and shipped off to Europe to serve slavery. You understand? Let me read this again. "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and feel with longing for them all the day long." We can guarantee you, say, this brother and him woman, see, Adriana's mother and father, them eye look with longing for this, for them daughter come back, for a miracle happen all the day long. You understand? And feel because she's never coming back. See? "And there shall be no might in thine hand." This is talking about us. See? Let me scroll down. Let me scroll down to where I was earlier. Verse 43. Let me read verse 41. Verse 41, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. That's talking about the time of slavery. Didn't we go through this? Didn't blacks and Hispanics go through this exact curse? We went through this. We have it, it's in the history books. You understand? This is not, you know what I mean, nothing that we are making up, you know. This is recorded throughout our history. You understand? Give me a second. See? So lucky about that. See? Let me read verse 42. It said, all these trees, Salakia, all thy trees and fruits of thy land shall be locusts consumed. That happened to us as well. Let me jump to 43. The strangers that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. I read that earlier. This is the situation with the East Indians, the Chinese, the white man, the Arabs. All these people come amongst us, you know what I mean? Them come, you know what I mean, amongst us, dirt poor. And eventually, them just become rich and in control. Meanwhile, we remain poor. This is by design. It is not because our people are lazy. It is not because our people are dumb, because we are not. See, we are the most, we are call it now, skillful, smartest, talented people. Just look, come on. There's no question about it. We are the most talented people upon the face of the earth. But yet we remain the poor. You know what I mean? We remain poor under these oppressors. Why? It's by design. See? Verse 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall, Slakia, he shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. See? This goes a far away. See? From these heathens like the East Indians coming among us, rising amongst us, but not only that, the oppressor, it's also talking about the IMF, where I'm almost certain that Guyana is in debt to the IMF and the World Bank, just like Jamaica. I'm almost certain. I might be wrong. See? But I'm almost certain we are in debt to these other nations. You understand? They lend to us, we don't lend to them. So we always remain under them. We always remain them subjects, them subordinates, and them do with us as them please, even to the point of unaliving our kids, human trafficking, all of them things that will take place. Them just pick from the earth because we are nothing but cattle to them. We are nothing but sheep and goat and cow. You understand? Let me scroll down. Let's jump to 48. See? Let me jump to 47 first. It said, because thou servest not the Lord thy God. We didn't serve our power, our God, who gave us the authority. We never turn our back upon him. See? With joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things, because he did give us the abundance. He gave us the earth to rule. See? Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. And that is why we are serving our enemies. We're serving the oppressor, and the oppressor put these other heathens over us. You understand? Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger. What it mean by serve your enemies in hunger? Mean if you want food, you have to purchase it from a Chinese wholesale. You know what I mean? The Chinese manufacturer. You know what I mean? Or the white man manufacturer. Any one of these nations. If we want food to feed ourselves, we have to go to the other nations. So we serve them in hunger. See? And in thirst. We need water for drink. If we need a beverage for drink, if we need anything to drink, you know what I mean? We have to go to these other nations. See? And in nakedness and in want of all things. So clothes, talking about the clothes we wear. You know what I mean? How many black and Hispanic, you know what I mean? Big name brand clothing line you know about. Name one. Who own the Gucci? Who own the Psycho Bunny? Who own the Louis Vuitton and all them things, the big brand them we love? Who own them there? The other nations. You know what I mean? You rarely find something, you know what I mean, big where blacks and Hispanic own. Rarely. Because we serve our oppressors in want of all things. Medication. Even so much as you want to marry a woman, you need a marriage license from the oppressor. When the Most High says sex is marriage. You understand? These heathens control every aspect of our life. And the main one is the white man, the devil the Bible speaks of. He's our main enemy. You understand? Let me continue. Verse 49. Salakia, hold on, we're not done 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. We all know the infamous image of our people with that shackle around our neck. That's the yoke of iron. It's imprinted in our minds whenever we think about our history, whether we be black or Hispanic. We always see that picture in time past where we had some shackle around our neck, around our hands, around our feet. This is what this is talking about. The yoke of iron. You understand? Let me continue reading. Until he have destroyed thee. We are a destroyed people. Blacks and Hispanics are completely destroyed over here in this captivity. So much so we don't even know who we are as a nation. If you ask a Hispanic man, what nationality are you? He might say Guyanese. He might say Venezuelan. He might say Brazilian. He might say Mexican. When these are names given to us by the oppressor. You understand? When our true nationality is the 12th tribe of Israel, God's chosen people. Yashar Allah in the Hebrew. You understand? That is our true nationality. We are God's chosen people. See? Let me continue. Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. So this nation the Most High bring against us, you know what I mean, was from afar. You know what I mean? And he came as swift as the eagle flieth. Now this eagle symbol is very, very important. Because which nation of people use the eagle as them symbol? Let me check over StreamYard to see if everything is to her. All right, yeah man, everything to her. See? When the oppressor went to the moon, what did he say? The eagle has landed. What is the national symbol for America? The eagle. Also, Rome used the eagle as their national symbol. Germany, many European nations, which are white people, them use the eagle as their symbol. This is telling you the type of people who the Most High would send against us because of our disobedience. Because of our disobedience is why we ended up in slavery. You understand? Let me continue. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, and certainly we did not understand the oppressor. You understand? When we first encountered him. If you ask the Hispanics and the native Indians when Christopher Columbus came, you know what I mean? What he was saying, they could have not told you, but guess what? Christopher Columbus, knowing who they were, brought a Hebrew interpreter. Who speaks Hebrew? The Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites. So Christopher Columbus brought a Hebrew interpreter when he came over here to the Americas because he knew that these people spoke Hebrew. Because he knew that these people were the 12 tribes of Israel. And he was looking for them. He wasn't looking for gold. He was looking for you. He knew where we were, you know. Them knew so we the day in the west coast of Africa, you know. But the Hispanics, they would have to make a long journey come over here and them work it out. The Roman Catholic Church give them full autonomy. And they came over here and them unalive hundreds of millions of people. There has been no genocide worse than that in history. Than what Christopher Columbus, the Spaniards, did to our Hispanic brothers. And afterward, the English and the French did to us. There's nothing worse than the transatlantic slave trade. Nothing. And this happened to God's chosen people. Let me continue. See, it says, verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. You understand? They did not show favor to the young nor the old. They had no mercy. You understand? Again, them unalive hundreds of millions of our native Indians and Hispanic brothers. You understand? And tens of millions of us. You understand? They did not show any kind of mercy because the oppressor is the devil the Bible speak of. And the Bible call him our enemy. And we're going to show you. See? Let me continue. Let me jump down to 54. 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. I'm sure that's the situation in Guyana right now. The Dunce thugs, who are the Dunce thugs unaliving in Guyana? The Dunce thugs are unalive each other. The Dunce thugs are the men that are young and tender amongst us, the young men. These are the young men. Their eyes are evil towards them, brother. You understand? This is talking about us. See? Let me continue reading. And towards the wife of his bosom. You know what I mean? Treating our sisters like mockers. You know what I mean? That are going on right now. We have no respect and love towards our sisters. See? Let me continue reading. And towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. You know what I mean? You know them always say the black man is never in the house. You know what I mean? The Hispanic man is never around. See? That is what this is talking about. You understand? Let me continue. Let me jump down to it even tell you, 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which shall not adventure to set her sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness. So one time our sisters would even make the sole of her foot touch ground. Because, you know what I mean, she's so tender and delicate. See, her eyes shall be evil towards her husband. I mean, no one see that right now in Guyana. You understand? Somebody said the same thing going on in Jamaica. Yeah, man. Guyana and Jamaica, I same thing. So is Trinidad, so is Haiti, so is Dominica Republic, so is Puerto Rico, so is Mexico. Everywhere the children of Israel are will face the same problem. You understand? So it said, her eyes shall be evil towards her husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter. What is that talking about? Here in Jamaica, we call it dashwe belly. You know what I mean? Abortion. Sure, that is a case here in Guyana too. You understand? Our sisters have become cruel towards even them children. That is one of the curse. You understand? All right, let me scroll down. Let me jump to verse 1 second. verse 64. It said, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. So the Most High scatter we. So instead of us being in our homeland in Jerusalem, where are we now? We scattered across the world. We in Trinidad, we in Barbados, we in North America, we in Canada, we in North, Central, and South America, calling ourselves a different name than what the Most High gave us. The Most High said, if the people that are called by my name shall humble themselves, what is that name? Yashar Allah, Prince of the Power, are sons of God, because the Prince is the son of the King. You understand? The sons of God, that is literally our name. You understand? In English, Yashar Allah is Israel. You understand? If the Most High say, if we should humble ourselves and seek his face, he will heal the land. And guess what? We are not in our land right now. Our land is being overrun by heathens, by the fake Jews, the Israelis, and the Palestinians. And you know what I mean? Not just that little plot of land, but majority of the Middle East belongs to us. You understand? The Arabs overrun our land right now, and where are we? We are over here in captivity. Not knowing that we are the children of Israel. There's somebody else on this earth calling themselves us. You understand? Let me finish read this, and then we're going to jump to a scripture to show you that those people over there are not the real Jews. We are the real Jews. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. See? Let's jump to let's finish 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. That almost that rhyme, you know, that it seems like what I call it now, almost like a song. But you know what I mean? It said, we shall serve other gods, wood and stone, gods that our people never know before. What is the wood and stone? The wooden cross of Christianity, that cross in the Catholic Church. You understand? And that stone in Islam, that in Mecca, Kaaba stone. You know what I mean? That is the wood and stone, because guess what? That is the two religion that our people predominantly go off into. You understand? Let's jump down to 68. I'm going to listen to this. And this is the last curse that the Most High said would happen to us for disobedience. See? This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Read that again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now, what was our relationship with Egypt? Egypt was the land of our captivity. We were in slavery in Egypt. You understand? We were enslaved in Egypt. Remember Moses? Moses freed us out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. That is what Egypt means. House of bondage. You understand? When you go to the original translation, there is no word, there's no land called Egypt. This word literally means house of bondage. The real land was, or the name of the, what I call it now, founder of that land. Let me not say the founder. The father of the people in that land is Matazariam or Mizraim. You understand? In ancient time, them call it Kemet or Kemat or Kam. You know what I mean? You know, we're not going into the details of that right now, but just know that the word Egypt simply means house of bondage or slavery. See? So what this is saying is, and the Lord shall bring thee into slavery again with ships. Now, how did we come over here in this captivity? By the means of slave ships. You understand? In no point in history or in the Bible, except for the transatlantic slave trade, were the children of Israel enslaved by the means of slave ships. And those fake Jews over there who call themselves Israelis and not Israelites, because they are not the real Jews. See, they never went into slavery. As a matter of fact, they financed our slave trade. They were the ones pumping money into these and creating, we call it now, insurance company and all them things. They're making a killing off of our slavery. Those same fake Jews. You understand? So the Most I say, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, or slavery, again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. That's talking about our homeland. We wouldn't see our homeland again. And indeed, we are over here in a strange land, and heathens are living in our homeland. We have never seen our homeland since. You understand? Talking about blacks and Hispanics who are the children of Israel, the real Jews, God's chosen people. See? Let me continue. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. Weren't we sold to our enemies over here? Wasn't blacks and Hispanics sold under action blacks? Weren't we sold to, you know what I mean, the highest bidder? Didn't this happen to us? Did this happen to the fake Jew? This didn't happen to the fake Jew over there in Palestine. This happened to blacks and Hispanics. You understand? And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. What does that mean? It says we shall be sold as bondmen and bondwomen. Talking about bondmen and bondwomen would be slave men and slave women. And no man shall buy you. When no man shall buy you mean? In our Israelite custom, there was a situation where if a brother or a sister was in debt, you know what I mean, they could basically serve somebody for a time period to pay off the debt. But if they had a relative who had the money to pay off them debt, they could buy them back or redeem them out of that, you know what I mean, servitude. Well, in this situation, nobody would buy us or redeem us out of this captivity. Nobody bought us back yet. Marcus Garvey didn't do it. You know what I mean? Malcolm X didn't do it. Martin Luther King couldn't do it. The Rastafari community, you know what I mean, didn't do it and can't do it. Then no one freed us out of this captivity. You understand? Nobody bought us back. We will not be freed until our king come, Yahawashi Mashiach. But guess what we have to do? We have to come together. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have to come together as the 12 lost tribes of Israel again. Come back to the Most High law, statutes, and commandments. Come out of the Christian church. Come out of Catholicism. You understand? Come out of the Rastafari community. Put on that blunt, put on that weed. You understand? And serve the Most High again. And with that, we will close out the class. If anybody have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. You know what I mean? Again, condolence to the family of this sister who was unalived, you understand, over there in Guyana. We pray that we get justice, you know what I mean? And I pray that Guyana will raise up prophets, you know what I mean, for the Most High in the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, and soon. You understand? And with that, we will close up. Yeah, man, we can see say we have a, you know what I mean, a Guyanese audience tonight, you know what I mean? That was the aim, you know what I mean? Because the truth not reach certain place yet, I want it reach, you know what I mean? We want it basically find its way down into South America, where the children of Israel, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, are strong. You understand? Yeah, man. All right. We'll jump to the security announcements. Still All right, these are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers chapter 18 and 21 and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like. All right, so go over to ISUPK.com, pay your tithes, support the truth. You understand? Stop feeding those greedy bastards in the Christian church. You know what I mean? Because clearly they were not teaching our people the Bible. Because, you know what I mean? Why aren't they teaching that we are the true children of Israel? We don't learn that in the Christian church. They make it seem as that is irrelevant when we suffer these curses in the Bible. You know what I mean? Not knowing why and not knowing how to fix it. Singing and clapping inside of that God-forsaken place will not free our people. You understand? All right? So, upcoming Holy Convocation, we are in the Feast of First Fruits, you know what I mean, which is in the Bible currently. We just finished celebrating the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Before that, we celebrated the Passover, you understand, which was given to us directly from the Most High. You understand? The Christian church do not celebrate these things, but they celebrate Easter, which is, you know what I mean, embedded in idolatry and paganism. You understand? The Christian church do not celebrate none of the holy days in the Bible. And yet them claim they follow the Bible, they do not. You understand? We continue. Reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, they are to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say Sar, which means to turn, or Panya Aquadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa, Shabashamayam, Kodash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, wa Arataza, Kawa, Ayah, wa Shamaya, Nathanganawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaklanawa, Kawabwatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawabwatyanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Anawa, Panasayawan, Abal, Awashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwat, wa Aala, wa Thapara, la Iwalamyam, Amen. In English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. All right, Sarah, which means to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salutes. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.U.M, I.M.A.D.U.M Shabbat, I.M.A.D.U.M, Barak, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Brakatham. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, I.M.A.D.U.M Shabbat, I.M.A.D.U.M, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Ilafan Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Yarimata, class dismissed. All right, so we keep classes Sundays 3 p.m., Wednesdays 7 p.m., We have a show called, we have 2 shows, 2 podcasts. Zane, Tuesday night, 9:30, The Conflict Zone, and Friday night, the Breakdown podcast, 9:30 as well. Remember to like, share, subscribe, go over to I.S.U.P.K Jamaica, YouTube channel, Facebook page, follow and subscribe. Go over to the Real Commanding General YAHANNA page. You know what I mean? He has a show every Monday, 8 o'clock. You understand? Where you get real Black and Hispanic news. What is affecting, you know what I mean, Blacks and Hispanic people. You understand? And the solution. See? So go over to Commanding General YAHANNA page, subscribe. Go over to every I.S.U.P.K page so that you can keep up to date, you know what I mean, and everything that affects our people and the solution. And with that, shalom.